And we're back at it again, folks, right here at Brooks Landscape. And I want to show you on the ways in which we're going to help solve this customer's landscape problem by dealing with the erosion that is happening on the landscape. As you can see, the water is falling down at the path of least resistance. And one of the ways that you begin to stop that problem is by adding an aggregate. So you have many ways in which you can go about adding an aggregate. On this landscape, we're going to be using the decorative gravel, which is going to add as a way to suck up that water, because what you get with the decorative gravel is a sedative inside of that rock, and the sediment inside of the rock is able to suck up a tremendous amount of water, dealing with those areas on your landscape where you just had a lot of erosion that has happened over time. And it does say that you're able to put yourself into a position to where now that water that falls on the path of least resistance is going to have to go through those rocks, which is going to slow the water down. Now, of course, because you're on a hillside, you're going to have to find yourself with some type of retaining wall here. We're going to be building a nice, elegant retaining wall that just matches the existing retaining wall that we got going up front. As you can see, that wall right there is going to be able to stop that water that's moving down, but also allow for us to be able to have a transition for our decorative gravel. And with that thought process, we're going to be able to bring that gravel in and easily be able to provide the customer with a solution that lasts a lifetime. And that's really what our number one goal is. Anytime you get ready to do a drainage solution, guys, you got to make sure that you're giving a solution that's going to be able to solve a landscape for a lifetime. And as you can see, we already have a great deal, about 4 inches of that dirt already removed here. This is just going to serve as an example for what is going to happen up along this entire concreted area, and it's going to allow for our gravel to sit into this landscape beautifully. And it's also going to deal with some of these areas on the landscape that has seen a lot of erosion over time, such as what you see here. Anytime you have concrete cracking or you have a lot of exposure to erosion and the elements of the landscape, you want to position yourself to deal with that by putting the erosion control fabric along with the decorative gravel. So now that when that water moves off your landscape, it doesn't just continue to eat away the dirt, but rather it's going to have to go through the decorative gravel, which, as the sediment is, it's going to suck up that water tremendously. It's going to stop a lot of that water that was moving on this landscape in a rushing fashion, because it's now going to have an aggregate. And the type of rock that we use is a 1 to 2 inch rock. So this is about the size of an egg. And the reason why we use that type of rock, because it has a lot more sediment in it, of course, but it also is a rock that's able to sustain itself on a hillside, and it looks absolutely beautiful. So if you're looking for a way to deal with your landscape drainage on a hillside, then you can begin to do so by just simply taking the erosion fabric and adding it to your landscape along with the decorative gravel, and making sure that you have a way to suck that water up as it moves along your landscape. And those are some of the ways in which we're going to be able to help this customer, by just putting them into a position to where they'll be able to have all of that gravel be used in a way that solves the drainage problem on their landscape. And these are just some of the ways in which we continually solve our customers' landscape problem on a continual basis. Now, to take you back over here to this retaining wall, it's just going to give you an opportunity to see one of the features that we do often, which is just to give our customers more quality, more quantity of service than that of what's expected when it comes down to the design. And so when you look at this design, it does say that we've been able to provide this customer with the way in which they're going to be able to take that water, but more importantly, get a grade on their landscape that allows them to create a softscape design. So then we're going to be able to come back in with plantings along with decorative gravel, and it's just going to be able to provide them with a beautiful retaining wall that also is able to deal with this slope that is now going to be flat and given an opportunity to be dealt with from that perspective. And that's just where we focus most of our attention on anytime we do a landscape drainage solution, is to give our customers more quality than that of what's expected. Now, we'll be coming back through here, gluing every single one of these pieces down, but then also, where necessary, adding in our paver sand in order to get level. But these are just going to be some of the ways in which we continue to help our customer with this design. Now, we're not going with a big anchor diamond 9D retaining wall block. As you can see, we're not going to be retaining much. This is more of a raised flower bed that's going to be able to provide a solution to the customer that they'll be able to be happy with. And then, as you can see as well, the design that you're going to get here is just saying that we're going to take out every other shrub, and then we're also going to be able to bring in the beautiful decorative gravel that's going to make sure that this customer never has to worry about any erosion and or changing out their particular landscape at any point of the process. And so these are just some of the ways that we continue to help our customers each and every day. And as you can see here, this retaining wall along with the decorative gravel is going to provide a drainage solution that lasts a lifetime, because you're never going to have to worry about solving that issue again. You're never going to have to worry about taking that decorative gravel out ever again. And you're also going to be able to ensure yourself that you can make an easy cleanup anytime you do have leaves that fall on your landscape. And so the decorative gravel is a great way to solve landscape problems, but you'll also see that it's going to bring out an amazing landscape feature on this landscape, being able to accent itself off this beautiful home in regards to the color red. And as you've known and seen before in a lot of our videos, the red along with the decorative gravel is just an eye-catching, very, very vibrant way to pop your landscape and give that landscape appeal. So stay tuned as we get ready to show you the remaining video of this before and after landscape design. I got to get back to work, guys, but I'll see you again on our next episode of Landscape Geek Learning Academy.